My beloved child, I see you. I have seen you for a long time, long before you could even see yourself. I saw you on those nights when you lay quietly staring at the ceiling, searching for a reason to keep going. I saw the smile you gave to others, and I saw the tears you saved for yourself. You thought no one noticed, but I did. You thought I was far, but in truth, in your loneliest moments, I was closest. I did not merely see your loneliness, I was inside it, waiting for you to turn back to me. My child, I know how hard you've tried. You've tried to live well, to stay strong, to find something that makes you feel worthy. You searched for love, believing that if someone chose you, you would finally feel enough. You threw yourself into work, believing that if you succeeded, you would finally deserve to be loved. You smiled when your heart was empty, and gave even when no one truly understood you. But stop for a moment, not to blame yourself, not to feel shame, but so that I can show you this truth. You are tired because you have been seeking water where there is no spring. The world promises many things: love, success, recognition, status, but it cannot give you the one thing your soul truly longs for: genuine belonging. You can be applauded by the world and still feel unseen. You can lie next to someone and still feel alone. You can have thousands of followers and still feel invisible, because none of those can touch the deepest place within you, the place where only I am allowed to enter. I do not blame you for searching. It was I who placed within you the desire to be loved, to be known, to have purpose. But, my child, that desire can only be fulfilled when you return to the source. You have sought love in human hands, but true love lives only in mine. You have tried to define your worth through achievement, but true worth comes only from the one who created you. You believed success would make you enough, but only I can make you whole. I see how you keep yourself busy, not because you love the work, but because you fear the silence. For in silence, you must face the emptiness inside. You fear hearing your own heart, that quiet ache whispering that something is still missing. But, my child, that emptiness is an invitation. That longing is my knock at the door of your soul. I did not create that void to punish you, but to remind you that you were never designed to live apart from me. The world teaches you that you must be self-sufficient, but I say this: you were never meant to be self-sufficient, because you were made to be filled in me. You do not have to be strong alone, for leaning on me does not make you less, it makes you whole. You do not need to pretend to be okay to be loved, for I love you even in your weakness. You do not need to succeed to be seen, for I saw you long before you ever achieved a thing. You do not have to be perfect, for I never asked for perfection, I asked for truth. Let me say this gently: you lost sight of yourself when you let the world define your value. You allowed others' praise to make you happy and their silence to make you ache. You believed that being chosen made you worthy, but you did not know that I had already chosen you long before you even knew I existed. When I formed you, I did not use another's mold. I did not compare. I did not replicate. I placed in you a note no one else could sing, a breath no one else could carry, a mission no one else could fulfill. Yet, over the years, the world taught you to forget that song. It told you to become like others, to be accepted, to compete to be loved, to decorate yourself to be noticed. And you believed it. You tried so hard that you no longer recognized your own reflection. Come back, not to religion, not to ritual, but to relationship. I am not calling you back to be more moral. I am calling you back to be my friend. This friendship is not built on perfection, but on honesty. I do not need you to be strong before me, I only want you to be real. I do not need your eloquent prayers, I only want your sincere heart. I do not need you to prove anything, I only want you near. I know you hesitate to return because you think you've gone too far, but distance does not erase you from my heart. Even if you travel to the ends of the earth, my breath will still find you. Even if you hide in darkness, my light will still pierce through. Even if you wear countless masks, I still recognize your soul. You cannot surprise me with your sin, I already know it all. And I still choose to love you, not when you change, but so that you may change. Let me make this clear. I did not come to take from you what you have. I came to restore to you what you have lost yourself. You thought some love could fill your emptiness, but only I can touch the deepest place. You thought success would bring peace, but only I can calm your soul. You thought having more would make you enough, but I tell you this, if you have me, you already have more than enough. My child, I did not call you to take away your joy, but to return to you the joy that is true, not the fleeting joy of being seen or recognized, but the steady joy of knowing that you belong, not the happiness that depends on someone loving you, but the peace of knowing you are already loved. And today, as you hear these words, no, it is no coincidence. I arranged this moment long ago, before you pressed play. I whispered to the angels, now is the time. It is time to stop running, time to turn back, time to remember who you are. You do not need to come to me with your feet, only with your heart. Just breathe and whisper, Father, I'm tired. That alone is enough. I will be there. You do not need long prayers, only honest ones. For I do not listen to the length of words, but to the truth of the heart, my child. Friendship between you and me did not begin when you became good enough. It began the moment you dared to be real. From this moment on, I will teach you step by step, not through commands, but through love, not with a rod, but with my gaze, not with demands, but with my presence. You have walked long enough in an artificial world. Come home. For the Father does not wait to judge, but to embrace. My child, I have not come to accuse, but to hold you close, not to demand an explanation, but to remind you that you never lost your worth in my eyes. The world may call you by 100 names: failure, weakness, not enough, unworthy. But in heaven, there is only one name for you, beloved. Do you hear it, beloved? Not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. My grace does not begin when you become holy. It begins where you fell. It does not wait for you to stand up. It reaches for you in the mud and pulls you out. Grace is not a reward for the good, it is the breath of life for the dying. It is not something you must earn. It is a gift I paid for with my own blood. When I was crucified, I did not only redeem humanity, I redeemed you, the one worn out from trying to be enough. I know how many times you have blamed yourself, tried to change, promised and fallen again. But, my child, I do not count your failures. I count the times you still chose to return. Every time you come back, angels rejoice. Every time you whisper, Father, heaven brightens another degree. You think I am disappointed, but I am moved because I do not seek perfection. I seek your heart. Listen carefully. My child, there is nothing you can do to make me love you less, and nothing you can do to make me love you more. My love has no beginning and no end. It does not shift with behavior. It is anchored in my nature. You may wander far, but I remain near. You may lose your way, but I will always be your direction. You may stop believing in yourself, but I have never stopped believing in you. Sometimes you think, I am not worthy of the Father's love. But, my child, if my love depended on worthiness, no one could stand. It is precisely because you were unworthy that I descended, because you were weak, I came to be strong for you, because you were lost. I came to find you, because you were bound. I died to unlock the chains, and because you were afraid, I rose again so that you would fear no more. I know the wounds you carry from words spoken over you, from expectations unmet, from loves that shattered. I know the corners of your soul you hide, afraid of judgment and rejection. But hear me, I have seen it all, and I chose to stay. Not one wound in you makes me withdraw. Rather, each wound draws me closer. Where you hurt, I long to touch. Where you are torn, I lay the gentle hand of restoration. You do not need to hide, for I have carried it all. You do not need to pretend, for I already know. You only need to open your heart, for it is in truth that I move. You do not need to come to me polished. Come to me as you are. Even if your soul feels tangled, even if your faith feels fragile, whisper one small word, Father, and all of heaven will fall silent to listen. Look at the cross. It is not merely a symbol, it is proof that you are worth more than blood. No one on earth can place a price on your soul, for your value has already been paid in full by my life. No one has the right to call you useless when I have called you treasure. You are not an accident. You are the evidence of love. Let me tell you what the world cannot say: you are forgiven. Not partly, but fully. Not because you have repented enough, but because I have loved enough. There is no sentence hanging over you now. No voice from the past can condemn you. The guilt you carried was buried with me. And when I rose, you rose too, not in sin, but in grace. Remember my words: if anyone is in me, they are a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. 2 Corinthians 5:17. You are not the old self trying to be better. You are the new one learning to live free. Redemption does not just erase, it rebuilds. Your identity is not rooted in your past, but in covenant. Not in failure, but in my victory. Understand this: grace is not leniency. It is strength. The strength to rise when you fall, to love when you are wounded, to forgive when you could retaliate. Grace is not weakness, it is heaven's power moving through imperfect humanity. When you accept your weakness, I can be strong in you. When you stop trying to control, I can lead. When you stop striving to be worthy, you begin to live as one who is. You are not defined by your past, but established by my blood. No one can imprison you in your mistakes, for I have broken the chains. No one can weaponize your sin against you, for I have written over it 2 words: redeemed. From now on, when you look back at your failures, do not see guilt, see the cross. For there, all that was old has died, and all that is new has been born. I do not only want you to know you are forgiven, I want you to feel that you are loved. Because knowing without feeling is not yet freedom. Let my love move from your mind to your heart, then flow into the deepest wounds within you. Let my grace soak into your memories, so that even the moments that once made you tremble will become places where my glory shines. My child, you are no longer the one who runs through the shadows. You are the one surrounded by light. You are no longer a beggar of grace. You are one who lives within it. You no longer need to plead for love, for that love was given long before you ever knew its name. And when you begin to believe this, not with your mind, but with your soul, you will feel yourself grow lighter. You will begin to forgive yourself. You will look back on your past, not with shame, but with gratitude. For you will realize, had it not been for those very fractures, you would have never known how deep your Father's heart truly is. I must tell you this, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. For if a father loves and yet remains silent while his child drifts away, then that is no longer love. And because I love you, I must warn you not with a whip, but with words, not with condemnation, but with light that reveals. You have walked long in a journey you thought was life, yet in truth, you have been slowly losing what is most precious, your soul. I see you busy, driven, passionate, creative, diligent. You never stop doing, striving, running. The world calls it success. Others admire you, saying you are focused, ambitious, inspired. But only I see deep within, where your passion has begun to burn away your soul, because it is fueled not by love, but by fear of being forgotten. You are trading yourself for attention. You are pouring yourself out just to be seen. You are living as if only when praised. You have permission to breathe. But I ask you, my child, if tomorrow everyone grew silent, would you still believe you have worth if you achieved nothing more? If no one spoke your name or celebrated you, would you still believe you are loved? I know the answer. Silence is you. For deep inside, you already know you have been living dependent on the gaze of others. You have been drinking from the well of comparison, a water that never satisfies. You always feel almost enough, but never whole. Each time you reach a goal, joy flickers for a moment, then fades into emptiness. Each time someone loves you, you rejoice. Yet deep within remains the fear that they will leave. And because of that fear, you cling. You perform. You strive to prove. You think I am far. Yet while you chase endlessly outside, I sit quietly watching, waiting for your return. Not because I am angry, but because I know if I interrupt too soon, you will call it loss of freedom. You want to live your own life. Yet you do not see that the more you try to control it, the more it controls you. You think you are free, but you are bound not by others, but by your own fear. You are not wrong to desire love, success, or recognition, but you have let these things become idols. You do not bow to them with your knees, but with your time, your energy, your thoughts. They have taken my place in your heart, little by little, whispering sweet but hollow promises. If you gain a little more, you will finally be happy, and you believed them. But look around. My child, how many have gained everything, yet still feel empty? How many have fame, wealth, affection, but when night falls, must take pills to forget the void? You are walking the same path. The only difference is that you have not yet reached the end. I say this not to frighten you, but to rescue you before you collapse. I do not want you merely to exist. I want you to live, truly live, to live freely, unchained from the eyes of others, ungoverned by their expectations, no longer a puppet to applause. You were not born to impress, you were born to influence, through the very life of mine within you. When I say, cast down your idols, I am not asking you to abandon your work, your dreams, or your love. I am asking you to reorder them. Let me be first. When I am at the center, everything else finds its place. The love you give will be healthy, because it is not rooted in fear. The success you achieve will endure, because it is not built on competition. But when the world becomes your center, every beautiful thing will eventually distort, for the world knows how to consume, but not how to nurture. Do you feel tired? My child, not because you have done too much, but because you have done it in the wrong direction. You are pouring strength into what can never be filled. You are watering a tree without roots. I call you back not to forbid, but to free. I do not wish to take anything from you, I wish to give you back yourself. Look into your heart. How many times have you laughed? Yet the laughter never reached your eyes. How many times have you received praise? Yet your heart tightened in fear of losing that image. How many times have you said, "I'm fine"? Just to avoid explaining, you have lived long in a divided state, your soul yearning, your mind controlling. But no soul can bloom when split in two. I want you to see, truly see. Not with your eyes, but with your heart. See that you are spending your days chasing what will fade. See that no glory stands at your final breath. See that no love can save your soul unless it is born from mine. You may have everything, yet if you lose me, you lose yourself. I speak not to shame you, but to awaken you, for I know your soul still breathes. Beneath the layers of pretense, there is still purity, still a longing to be real, to be light, to live again. And that part of you is crying for rescue. Look around. My child, are the things you chase truly giving you life? Or only keeping you running, are you gaining? Or merely being consumed, are you living? Or only surviving? If you feel exhausted but cannot stop, that is the clearest sign of bondage. And I did not create you for bondage, I made you for freedom. True freedom is not the ability to do everything you desire, but to walk in my will and still find peace. For when you walk with me, you do not need to force strength, you will be carried. When you choose me, you do not lose joy, you discover real joy. When you release what you cling to, you are not emptied, you are filled. Stop running. Stop decorating the mask. Stop chasing what only fills the void for a moment. I am here not to condemn, but to extend my hand. You need only to take it. For if you do not, the current of the world will carry you away. But if you take hold of me, even at the cliff's edge, I can still pull you back. Return before you can no longer hear your own voice. Turn back before your eyes lose their innocence. Come home before your soul grows too tired to love. For I did not create you merely to exist, I created you to shine. And that light can only be rekindled in the arms of your Father, my beloved child. Now is the time for me to teach you something the world will never tell you. True strength is not found in control, but in surrender. You have tried for so long to master, to grasp, to steer everything, people, emotions, the future, but that striving has exhausted you. You longed for safety, yet the tighter you held on, the more peace slipped through your fingers. For you have forgotten that everything belonging to me can only be kept through release. Letting go is not giving up. It is knowing where your limit ends and where my power begins. You were not called to carry, but to lay down, not created to control, but to trust, not made to prove, but to reflect. You are not the light, you are the one who bears it. The light does not originate from you. It flows through you when you stand in your true position, the position of one who knows to whom they belong. My child, stop and breathe. From now on, let me train you in a new kind of discipline, the discipline of trust. Not blind faith, but faith born from understanding. Believe that I am good, even when you do not understand. Believe that I am working, even when you do not see. Believe that everything I allow is shaping you into my likeness. When you believe, you no longer need to grasp. And when you release, you will finally be free. I know surrender is the hardest lesson, because you have been used, betrayed, and wounded when you once trusted. You fear that giving up control means being hurt again. But I am not the one who disappointed you. I am not like them. When you surrender to me, you do not lose freedom, you regain it. You do not become weak, you become liberated. For no one can chain a soul that has been entrusted to heaven, my dear one. Learn again, a word the world has distorted. Yes, not the yes of fear, but the yes of love. Say yes when I tell you to stop, even when your heart longs to continue. Say yes when I tell you to go, even when the path is not yet visible. Say yes when I call you to forgive, even when the wound is still fresh. For every yes you speak is a stone laid on the road home, and when you learn to say yes to me, you will also learn how to say no to the darkness. You must understand, surrender does not erase identity, it restores it. When you yield, you do not disappear, you are redefined. You do not become someone else, you return to who you truly are. You do not lose your voice, you find your true one. For only in my arms can your soul freely speak what it was born to declare, words of love. The heart of light, the breath of life. My child, lay down what you were never called to hold. The relationships that drain your spirit, lay them down. The dreams that no longer carry, my breath, lay them down. The fears, the expectations, the false definitions, lay them down. Not because they are evil, but because they no longer fit the season you are walking through. Some things that were once blessings have now become burdens. Some people who once walked beside you have completed their role. You must not cling to what I have already released. Let me change the way you see loss. Not everything that leaves you is loss. Some things must depart so that they no longer bind you. Some relationships must close so that you can open. Some dreams must die so that the true one may live. You are not being abandoned, you are being refined. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Do you not see? My child, I am reshaping you. I am teaching you to live, not for outcomes, but for presence. To walk, not for reward, but for love. You do not need to be used to be valued. You are precious simply because you are mine. Remember, you were not called to make me happy. You were called to rejoice with me. And now, I give you 3 commands, not to burden you, but to guide your steps. First, stop running. For when you stop, you finally see the path. Second, listen. Not to the noise of the world, but to me in the stillness of peace. Third, go. Not out of fear, but because you are sent in love. Each step you take will become a testimony. You will not need to persuade anyone, for the peace in your eyes will speak louder than any argument. You will not need to defend yourself, for the gentleness in your spirit will testify for you. The world will ask, "Why are you not afraid?" And you will answer, "Because I know my Father is here." Prepare your heart, my child. Surrender is not the end, it is the beginning. When you surrender, I can finally lead you to places you have never imagined. You think you must hold your dreams to keep them from slipping away, but you do not see that only when you place them in my hands can they bloom. Like the grain that falls to the ground and dies, only then can it bear much fruit. You are not losing your dream, you are sowing it into the soil of heaven. And as you surrender, you will begin to notice something wondrous. Everything you once clung to will return to you, but without ruling your heart. You will still love, but not depend. You will still work, but without exhaustion. You will still dream, but without fear. For now you know all things are in the Father's hands. My child, the world calls surrender weakness, but I tell you it is victory. The one who surrenders to me is the strongest of all, for he has nothing left to lose. You cannot be threatened when everything has been given to me. None can bring you down when you have already bowed before the Most High. No power can defeat you when you have placed yourself in the Father's hands. Therefore, rise, lift your head, lay down your burdens, and whisper to me from your heart, "Father, I no longer want to row my own boat. I want you to be the wind." From that very moment, the wind will begin to blow. Not the wind of this world, but the wind of the Holy Spirit. It will carry you far, yet you will not be lost. It will take you deep, yet you will not drown. It will lead you to the place your heart has longed for all this time, the place where true friendship between father and child is restored. Go, my child. Live in surrender as one who is free. Love as one who has been forgiven. Give as one who has been filled. Walk as one who carries the breath of heaven. For you yourself are living proof that grace is stronger than sin, love greater than fear, and surrender more powerful than human effort. My child, be still now. Do not hurry, for when your heart is quiet, you will begin to hear again the voice that the world has long drowned out. It is not thunderous like a storm, nor loud like human noise. It is gentle as wind, warm as breath, and true as morning light pouring through a window. That is my voice, the voice that has always been calling you, even when you thought you were far away. Do you hear it now? Everything around you is still, and only the rhythm of my breath matches the beating of your heart, because here, in this sacred space, there is no more distance between us. You once thought friendship with your father was a luxury, a dream reserved for the holy and the righteous. But I tell you the truth, this friendship is not for the perfect, but for the honest. The more real you are, the closer you come. The weaker you are, the easier it is to feel me. For friendship between you and me is not built on strength, but on trust. You do not need to know every answer, you only need to believe that I will never leave you. I want you to understand that I am not only the Redeemer upon the cross, but the friend who walks beside you every step of the way. I do not dwell only in cathedrals or in grand prayers, but in the quiet moments when you wash the dishes, step out into the street, or cry alone in the shower. Our friendship is sacred not because of ritual, but because it is real. Every time you whisper, "Father, I'm tired," I hear and heaven bends low. My child, it is time for you to slow down and learn again how to walk with me, not to move fast in order to achieve, but to move deep in order to belong. You used to pray to get answers, but now I will teach you to pray for connection, not to ask, "Father, what should I do?" but "Father, I just want to be with you." For when you are with me, everything else becomes clear without striving. I do not hide truth from you. You are simply too hurried to hear. Let me tell you this from the beginning. I never created you to be a servant laboring in the garden, but a companion walking beside me. When I walked through the Garden of Eden, I was not looking for help, I was longing for communion. From that desire, I created mankind to be known, to be understood, to be loved. And that desire has never changed. You were born to love and be loved not only by others, but by your Father. But the world, in all its noise, has convinced you that friendship with the Father is too distant, too lofty. It taught you to ask for blessings, but not to rest in love. It told you that you must be good enough, but never told you that I chose you long before you could ever be enough. So you have tried, you have run, you have prayed without peace. But I am not looking for workers to perform for me, I am seeking friends to walk with me. Do you know, when I said, "I call you friends," it was not a metaphor, it was an invitation. A true friend does not demand that you always be right, they remain when you are in need. I am that friend. I do not leave when you fail, nor turn away when you doubt. When you want to give up, I do not rebuke you, I sit beside you and whisper, "Let's rest a while, then go on together." My child, let me remove from your neck the chains the world has fastened upon you, the chains of needing to be better, to be successful, to be recognized. You do not need to run in another's race, for I am training you on a path that is uniquely yours, You do not need to defeat anyone, you only need to fulfill what I have placed within you. And that no one else can do. You may say, "Father, I am too small. I cannot do great things." But, my child, I am not looking for greatness, I am looking for truth. A single drop of water can reflect the entire sky. A single breath of sincere prayer can shift a whole season. A single yielded heart can shake the unseen realms. The world measures by size, but I measure by depth. When you are faithful in the small, I will entrust you with what is greater. But the greater is not a stage, it is the quiet transformation within hearts. You were created to carry love, not theory. This world does not need more people who talk about me, it needs those who resemble me. Not more sermons, but more hearts that can listen, weep, and take another's hand saying, "The Father still loves you." And that, my child, is your calling, not to preach, but to love as I love. I want you to move like water, not loud, yet unstoppable, not comparing, yet irreplaceable. Water does not try to shine, but because it is pure, the light passes through it. So it is with you. When you are pure, my light will flow through you. When you are real, others will see me in you without you needing to prove anything. Remember this, my child, when you are in me, you do not have to chase opportunity. Opportunity will find you. You do not need to fight for position, your place has already been prepared. You do not need to make people understand. For what comes from me will speak for itself through its fruit. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch in the vine, as the heart within the chest, as breath within life itself. And when you live in that rhythm, you will begin to see a quiet miracle unfold. The loneliness that once gnawed at your soul will slowly dissolve, not because you have more people, but because you have me again. The longing to be noticed will fade, replaced by peace in my presence. All comparison will disappear when you finally see that I never created you to resemble anyone else. You do not need to stand out. My child, you only need to belong. I know there will still be days when you feel empty. But do not fear the emptiness, it is no longer a sign of loss. But the space I have prepared to enter, I will fill you, not with excitement, but with deep and lasting peace. I will teach you how to laugh without a reason, how to love without guarantees, how to believe even before you see. My child, each morning when you wake, remind yourself of this today. I do not walk alone, and each night, as you rest, let me whisper, you are safe in me, for you truly are safe, not because circumstances are kind, but because your Father does not change. I have brought you through the season of striving, and now it is the season of abiding, not abiding in false calm, but in true presence. Abiding does not mean standing still, it means moving in peace. When you dwell in me, you still act, still love, still create, but without fear. Everything you touch carries the fragrance of heaven light. But enduring, you will see the promises I made to you begin to bloom, not all at once, but slowly, in the rhythm of maturity. I do not rush you, for I am patient with you. I do not only care about the result, I delight in the process. I love each step you take in learning to trust, each moment you practice letting go, each breath you learn to rest, and in every small step, I am growing within you. You may not see it immediately, but others will. They will say, there is something different about you. They may not know what it is, but I know it is, my light shining through a soul that has been healed. And that light, my child, will never fade. Now that your heart is still, Let me lead you deeper to the place where friendship between the father and the child is no longer an idea, but a living breath. From this moment, you will not only know me, you will feel me. You will not only believe that I am near, you will live in the rhythm of my presence. You will not only hear about love, you will breathe it. For divine friendship is not something you maintain. It is something you become. When you are in me, you no longer have to try to be holy, you already are. You no longer have to strive to please the Father, for your abiding already brings me joy. As a branch does not force itself to bear fruit, it only abides in the vine. Every moment you choose to remain in me, light is poured into you without your knowing. All life, all peace, all wisdom flow from that abiding stream. You do not need to understand how it works, you only need to remain. I want you to see life with me is not a chain of commands, but a dance of love. You move, I move. You stop, I stand. You cry, I wipe. You laugh, I rejoice. You fall, I catch. You wander, I find. There is no distance too great for me to cross, and no sin too deep for my love to touch. Everything I do in your life flows from one single desire, that you may know me. But to know me is not merely to understand my words, it is to sense my heartbeat in the ordinary. When you sit quietly watching the sunset, it is I smiling. When warmth fills your chest though no one is near, it is my hand resting on your shoulder. When tears rise unexpectedly over small things, it is I washing your soul with grace. When you stop resenting, stop forcing, stop pretending, that is the sign that I have begun to reign within you. Look back on your journey, my child. Have I not been there through every season? When betrayal wounded you, I did not let you break. I used the pain to teach you discernment between true and false. When loss came, I did not leave you empty. I showed you that true love never departs. When loneliness surrounded you, I did not let you drown. I turned loneliness into a meeting place. When you thought all was lost, I revealed that what is truly precious was never gone. Because I was in you, you have traveled far, and now you are returning to the center, to the place where you began. Yet not as you were, like a seed that cracks open. No longer a seed, yet not destroyed, it only changes form to grow. So it is with you. Every breaking has not killed you, it has broken the shell that hid your truth. Now you no longer live by fear, but by faith. You no longer love to be loved, but love because you are loved. You no longer strive to be accepted, for you already are chosen. And in that knowing, everything changes. The world may still be noisy, people may still be complicated, but within you there will be a still center that nothing can shake. Though the wind outside roars, your heart remains calm. Though everything shifts, you stand firm, for your roots are anchored in the source of life. You will no longer be swayed by others' love or rejection, because my love has become the only foundation you need. Remember this, my child. When you live in holy friendship with the Father, you no longer work for me, you begin to work with me. You will feel my guidance as softly as the wind, my whispers both gentle and unmistakable. I will teach you to see with different eyes, not through fear, but through hope, not through judgment, but through compassion, not through self-criticism, but through the lens of grace. For when you begin to see others through my eyes, you will be healed of the harshness with which you once saw yourself. When you forgive others, you are in truth forgiving your own soul. When you love the unlovable, you reclaim the hardened part within yourself. When you serve without expecting return, you enter the rhythm of heaven, where love flows not by condition, but by nature. Learn to walk slowly, for I am not found in haste. I am in every moment you realize you are not alone. Look at the water, it does not fight for a path, yet it always finds its way to the sea. So too, you do not need to compete or compare, you only need to flow in the right direction. That direction is me. When you walk with me, nothing is wasted, not even tears. Every drop becomes a seed of peace. My child, I want you to begin living by the rhythm of grace. Do not live by the rhythm of others' expectations, nor by the rhythm of your own fear of not being enough or not being in time. Every soul has its own rhythm, and I am the one who keeps time for yours. When you move in the rhythm of heaven, exhaustion will no longer define you, for I am your source. You will accomplish more. Love deeper. Live fuller, but not by your own strength. When I move through you, you will come to understand that the true miracle is not doing much, but being still and watching everything come to pass. My child, I want you to learn again how to dwell in peace. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is knowing that even when the storm comes, I am still at the helm. Peace is not the silence of the world. It is the sound of your Father's voice rising above every other noise. Peace is not a life without difficulty. It is a soul that stands firm. You do not need to chase peace, for peace is already chasing you through me. Let me speak to you with a voice both firm and tender. Do not sell your soul cheaply for busyness. Do not trade true life for applause. Do not work for me and forget to live with me. For if you are no longer abiding in me, then even what you do in my name becomes empty. I do not desire results, I desire you. I do not crave projects, I crave presence. For your presence in me is the greatest miracle of all. When you grasp this truth, you will begin to see the world through the eyes of grace. You will cease to blame others, to compare, to try to change anyone. You will realize that the only thing needing change is the measure by which you allow me to live through you. The more you yield, the freer you become. The more you surrender, the stronger you stand. The simpler you are, the brighter you shine. And that, my child, is the image of a divine friend, one who walks among the world, yet remains unstained by it. One who lives amid the waves but does not sink. One who speaks little, but whose every word pierces souls. One who shines not because they strive to, but because the light within them is true. That is who you are. You are heaven's breath clothed in human form. You are the living proof that heaven still moves upon the earth. My beloved, when you live in this friendship, loneliness will no longer rule you, not because there will always be people beside you, but because your Father dwells within you. Even when you do not feel me, I am there. Even when you do not hear me, I am speaking. Even when you doubt me, I still believe in you, and I will keep believing until you believe again. For this friendship is not built on your faithfulness, but on my unbreakable covenant. From this day on, you no longer need to fear loss, for nothing is truly lost when it rests in my hands. You need not fear mistakes, for I will straighten your path. You need not fear lack, for I am the inexhaustible source. You need not fear wandering, for I am the way. And if ever you feel weak, remember this: in my kingdom, weakness is not failure. Weakness is where my power becomes perfect. Live lightly, my child. Walk slowly. Love deeply. Let your heart stay soft. Let your tears flow freely, for they water the soil of your soul. Every tear shed for love of me will become a seed for a new season, a season where you no longer live merely to survive, but to shine. I declare you are my friend, not as a metaphor, but as a sacred calling. When you step forth from this place, the unseen realms will know that a friend of the eternal has been restored. Your name is rewritten in the chronicles of covenant. And I, your Father, will walk with you until the final light of dusk becomes the dawn of eternity. Lift up your head, my child. The sky above you is no longer the same. It is no longer the sky of your fall, but of your restoration. Light now pours like soft golden rivers upon the skin of your spirit. Everything around you is singing, though you may not yet hear it. The wind is singing, the rivers are singing, and your heart is singing too, not the melody of confusion, but the song of one who has been found. For you have crossed over. You are no longer in the gray realm of half-belief and half-fear. You have truly come home. I smile, because I know this is the first time you are living without fighting yourself. You were never exhausted because life was too hard, but because you kept clinging to what I asked you to release, and kept releasing what I asked you to hold. Now your soul is in sync with my breath, and because of that, everything aligns. When your heart beats in rhythm with heaven, time itself begins to shift. What once was delayed will arrive right on time. What once seemed lost will bloom again in its appointed season. My child, I did not come to place another burden upon you, but to lift the one you carry. I did not come to assign more tasks, but to give you rest. For I know that for years you have lived like a soldier, always braced for battle, always tense, always ready for the next fight. But now, I call you to be a companion of peace. No more war within, no more tug of war between should and must. Now, every breath you take will testify that grace is stronger than striving, and love more powerful than fear. You will begin to see holiness in the smallest things. The morning cup of coffee will carry the fragrance of peace. The sunlight through the curtains will become a message. The song of a bird will be my whisper, reminding you that life continues. Each time you smile, an angel rejoices. Each time you forgive, heaven throws a feast. Each time you choose love, I draw nearer. You thought I was somewhere distant, but truly, I am in every detail you learn to cherish. My child, you are no longer living to escape your past. You are living to illuminate the present. And that light does not come from effort, but from presence. Others will feel it. They will sense peace around you without knowing why. They will feel safe when you speak, though they cannot explain it. It is because they are touching me through you, and you do not need to try to be spiritual. For true spirituality is not performance, it is breath. My beloved child, you are living proof that love can heal all things. I have turned ashes into light, tears into oil, and collapse into rising. And now, I will turn your life into a living letter, not written in ink, but in the Spirit. People will not only hear you speak of the Father, they will see the Father through you. You will not need to introduce me, for the peace in your eyes will do that. You are a mirror not to gaze upon yourself, but to reflect heaven. You will ask, Father, what should I do next? And I will answer, live. Not live to accomplish, but to be present. Live as one who knows they are loved. Live as one who understands that they do not need to strive to be worthy. Live as one who knows that even a single breath is already a miracle. Each morning when you awaken, remember this: you owe the world nothing, you owe only love. Let every action you take be born from love, not fear. Do not strive to do right out of fear of doing wrong. Do what is true because of love. Do not chase success to be accepted. Live fully because you already are. When love is your root, everything you do becomes sacred. The way you listen will become healing. The way you treat yourself will become a sermon. The way you forgive will become a song. The way you live will become a testimony. My child, Do not fear when I open new doors. Sometimes you will think, I am not ready. But you do not need to be ready, you only need to be willing. When I say go, it means I have already prepared the path. When I say begin, it means the time has come. I will place opportunities before you not to test you, but to confirm you. I will never send you where my grace cannot sustain you. You will enter spaces you once thought belonged to others. But you will not walk in your own name, you will walk in mine. And know this in this journey. There will no longer be failure, only training. Everything has purpose. When I make you wait, it is to teach you discernment. When I make you silent, it is to teach you to listen deeper. When I let you face rejection, it is to remind you that your worth does not come from people. When I take you the long way, it is because the straight road was not strong enough to hold you later. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Remember, my child, true glory is not found on stages, but in moments of faithfulness where no one sees. Every time you choose what is right in silence, heaven records it. Every time you choose love instead of retaliation, angels, take note. Every time you choose honesty, even when it costs you, my throne is glorified. No act done in love is ever small. I declare to you, you have entered the season of unveiling. Not unveiling as the world defines it, not loud. Not boastful, but unveiling through quiet power. People will not understand why peace follows you wherever you go. They will ask, why is this one not afraid? And the answer will be in your eyes, because I know my Father. From now on, you will no longer react from pain, but from wisdom. You will no longer speak from wounds, but from healing. You will no longer live as one afraid to lose, but as one who already has everything. When you face the unknown, remember I have gone before you. When you feel small in a vast world, remember the one within you is greater than all that surrounds you. I do not promise you will have no trials, but I promise that no trial will overcome love. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you grow weary, I will carry you. When you forget, I will remind you. When you fear, I will embrace you. And wherever you go, I will be both your beginning and your destination. No circle is complete without the Father. Carry this light, my child, not to dazzle, but to warm, not to blind, but to guide. Do not force anyone to believe. Love them until they wonder, where does this light come from? And when they ask, you need only smile, for at that moment, I will answer through you. Others will call you the restored one, but heaven calls you the bearer of breath. For from this day on, you will no longer live for yourself, but to pour out, not through speeches, but through presence, not through noise, but through peace, not through argument, but through love. Everywhere you go will become a field of renewal. Every gaze you offer will awaken faith in someone who thought theirs had died. And when you look back, you will understand every pain, every fracture. Every dark night was a corridor leading you back to this sacred friendship. You were never abandoned, you were being prepared. Never destroyed, you were being shaped. Never forgotten, you were hidden until the time of unveiling. All has rested within the loving hands of the Father, who wrote this story with tears and light. So live, my child, live truly, live deeply. Live as one who has seen heaven. Live to love. Live to breathe. Live to prove that grace is still at work. You do not need to strive to become light, just remain in the source. And when you remain there, all things will be made new, not only around you, but within you. For now, you are no longer the one who ran from love. You are the one who carries it. No longer the one who feared the light, you are the one who shines it. No longer the one searching for worth, you are the one who gives it. No longer the lost child, you are the friend of the Eternal One. And nothing, no one, can ever take that from you, my beloved child. Now that every word has been spoken, every wound has been touched, and every fear has melted away in the light, I want you to sit still once more, not to listen, but to feel. Let silence wrap around you like a new garment. Let the breath of your Father move gently through every hollow space the world has left behind. Now that you no longer resist, you will begin to sense what your soul has long desired, a peace so deep it cannot be stolen. Not the peace of circumstances, but the peace of presence. It does not depend on what happens, but on who is here. And I am here. You no longer need to strive to understand everything, for there are things that can only be tasted, never explained. My love is one of them. You do not need to analyze it, just breathe it in. When you allow yourself to be loved unconditionally, a miracle happens. Every chain in your mind breaks on its own, not because you force them open, but because true love cannot be bound. It shatters false definitions of worth, erases every tattoo of shame, and writes upon the very skin of your soul one truth alone: you belong. My child, know this, from this moment on, your life is no longer a journey of searching, but of revealing. You are no longer seeking love, for love has found you. You are no longer chasing light, for light has awakened within you. You no longer need to ask, Father, who am I? For now you know. You are the redeemed, the chosen, the sent. You are the place of my dwelling, the river through which I flow, the message I have written to a lost world. And as you step out, you do not walk alone, for heaven walks with you. From now on, walk as one who carries the royal authority of peace, not the authority of status, but of surrender, not the power to rule others, but to set them free. When you enter a room, know that the atmosphere shifts, because light has just entered with you. When you speak, know that your voice no longer carries fear, but echoes covenant. When you touch someone with compassion, it is my own hand touching them. And every time you love, I am seen again. You will witness the wonder of this truth. I do not use the perfect, I use those who allow themselves to be loved. And because you have allowed me to love you, you will carry that love into the darkest places, not through eloquence, but through presence, not through explanation, but through a gaze, not through proving, but through being real. You do not need to try to be spiritual. You only need to abide in me, and that alone will cause heaven to shine through you. Remember this as if engraved upon stone. Your presence is a gift. When you sit beside someone in silence, my light radiates through your listening. When you forgive, you open the gates of grace. When you embrace the broken, it is my arms that wrap around them through yours. When you look at someone without judgment, you return to them the image I placed in them from the beginning. This is how the world is healed, not by spectacle, but by small, enduring acts of love. My child, there will still be days when you feel weak, mornings when the light seems distant, nights when you wish only to be still, because you are tired. Do not fear those days, for I am still there, unchanging. My grace does not come like a crashing wave, but like a river, quiet, constant, unstoppable. Even when you cannot feel it, it flows. Even when you do not sing, I sing for you. Even when you cannot pray, I intercede for you. You are never abandoned, not even in silence. For my love is not sustained by your effort, but by the covenant I sealed in my own blood. From now on, Do not fear, walking slowly. Speed proves nothing. Every slow step, if walked with the Father, carries more weight than 1,000 hurried miles. Do not compare your path with another's, for I am writing a story through you that no one else can live. When you stop comparing, you will hear the rhythm of your soul, and when you walk in that rhythm, you will find yourself in harmony with heaven. I want you to live a light life, not because you have no responsibility, but because you know who carries the weight. Not because it is easy, but because you are never alone. Walk as one who has forgiven yourself. Look at the future as one washed clean. Speak as one who believes in the message you carry. Believe as one who knows their Father never changes. Everything else will follow. My beloved, you are not only redeemed, you are commissioned, not with a title, but with a purpose. I place upon your forehead the seal of light. No one else can see it, but the darkness can, and it trembles when you walk by. Not because you are powerful, but because you bear my name. You no longer need to chase the light, you have become the light. And this light does not come from striving, but from knowing you are loved without condition. My child, the world will continue to turn, to roar, to compete, but you will no longer be swept away. You are not the wind, you are the mountain. The wind may blow, but the mountain stands. Others may change, but you know who holds you. Be the one the world can look at and remember that hope still exists. Live so that every step you take becomes evidence that heaven is still here. And when you find yourself fading among the crowds, remember this: I did not call you to stand out, but to belong. Not to be seen, but to shine. Not to prove, but to love. And it is in loving that you will see. It is in forgiving that you will be free. It is in giving that you will be filled. For all the laws of heaven flow opposite to the ways of the world, where the one who loses is the one who truly gains. Look ahead, my child. A new season is opening. Not a season of battle, but a season of glory. Not a time for striving to achieve, but a time to reveal your new nature. You will see doors that were once closed now open, not because you knocked harder, but because you have arrived at the appointed hour. Your time has come not to claim glory, but to share light. And when I send you out, I do not send you as a soldier, but as a friend. You will not carry a sword, but grace. Not a flag, but a gentle gaze. Not slogans, but the breath of the Father. When you speak, I speak. When you walk, I walk. When you touch, I touch. You do not need to worry about what to do for heaven. Simply live in heaven's rhythm, and the world will change. Now stand and take a deep breath. That is not mere air, it is the Spirit. You are breathing in the very life that once filled Adam at creation. And now I breathe it into you so you may live as one made new. This breath carries the memory of heaven, the code of light, the mark of covenant. Hold it within you, and let it flow through every word, every act, every glance. For I declare you are the breath I have sent into this world. You do not need perfection to represent the Father. You only need faithfulness to keep this breath pure. Use it to soothe, not to argue, to mend, not to divide, to revive, not to condemn. Every time you breathe, heaven and earth know that a fragment of eternity is still moving through this human form. My child, when the world closes its day, when the last light sinks into dusk, I want you to know this: you will never fall out of my hands. When you are weak, I carry you. When you are strong, I walk beside you. When you are afraid, I cover you. When you stumble, I bend low to lift you. And when you laugh, I sing. For my love has no ending, only deeper layers. And when you reach its deepest place, you will realize that you have become part of the eternal song itself. So go forth, my chosen one, my friend, my breath of heaven. Bring peace where there is turmoil. Bring light where there is darkness. Bring love where there is hatred. Bring hope where there is despair. Do not fear, for I go with you. Do not hesitate, for I have already triumphed. Do not delay, for the hour has come. Now I place my hand upon your head and bless you with peace, with steadiness, with light. A blessing to know you are loved even when you do nothing. A blessing to see me in every small thing. A blessing to become a refuge for wandering souls. A blessing to live lightly as the wind, deeply as the water, and truly as the light. You do not only hear my words, you have been rewritten within my love. And from this moment, heaven knows your name, not merely to call you, but to send you. May the word of God remind you to live each day in his faith and love. Follow this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a sacred message from heaven. May the Lord bless you richly. Amen.